Hey, Charles, how are you, my man?
All right, how's it going?
Good, thanks. You ready for a beautiful day at Churchill Downs?
Of course I am. It's beautiful out here today.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing online. It's at 75 degrees and sunny in Louisville, Kentucky. Although I don't think they're having any grass races today. I think they're all on the dirt. So that should be fun. Last night we had on Horse Center, we had one of the youngest, most, I think, talented and up and coming jockeys and Jose Gomez just lighting up the New York circuit in his rookie campaign. Well, what's essentially his rookie campaign with almost $7 million in winnings. So it was a fun conversation. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, make sure you do here on Horse Racing Radar TV. The best way to make sure you don't miss anything is to hit that subscribe button, follow us on our social media sites. And then, of course, tonight, we're going to have on another guest from the parks, jockey Adam Bowman, which should be a fun conversation as too. He was during the Pennsylvania Derby, got to ride his first graded one stakes race. So we'll talk about that. And Sean has some other interesting information about Adam that we'll be discussing. If you want to make sure you catch that one as well, hit the subscribe button, follow us on Horse Racing Radar TV here on YouTube, and tell your friends about us, of course. That's what we appreciate. If you like what you see today, thumbs up. You know the routine, folks. You ready to go, Charles?
I'm born ready.
You're born ready. All right. Well, I mean, you and Team Terry still have the advantage. I'm closing it a little by little, brick by brick. No big leaps or bounds. If you haven't done so yet, on the social sites below, go vote for Team Charles and Terry or Team Rich. At the end of the month, when we're done calculating all of our winnings, we'll pick a name from the right team, and we'll get you some Horse Racing Today gear, which you can help support the show by going over to horseracingtoday.net. Get yourself some great wear for the fall and winter. I know it's beautiful down there today, but the weather forecast around the north says prepare for cold by the end of the week. So we'll make sure the winter gets a hoodie so you're nice and warm in some Horse Racing Today gear. But if you don't win, you can get it yourself and support the show. All right. You ready to go?
Ready.
Now that I got all of that stuff out of the way before I forget, because usually I forget that stuff, and at the end I'm kicking myself. All right, so race number 1 at Churchill Downs is a 7-furlong race on the main course. Again, as we like to do around here, talk a little bit about the profile of a winner. What does it take to win at 7 furlongs on the main track? So far, at 7 furlongs on the main track, we have found that there is an early speed bias. Posts 2 through 7 seem to perform the best. Posts 8 and out and the rail apparently have a little bit of a penalty. And if we take a look at what our way to the winner's circle worksheet looks like here, the 3-horse first-time starter scratched. It is a maiden race, so we have the arrows and we have the slides that tells you if it's moving up or down in class. Again, real quick, E-horses need to lead. They need to be the pilot. EPs can be the pilot or the co-pilot. Typically, Ps are co-pilots. The PCs can be the co-pilot or passenger. That was one of those cases where I was trying to say multiple words. Like in my brain, I was thinking about the next sentence and I was mushing them together. Has that ever happened to you, Charles?
Oh yeah, all the time.
And then the C folks are just the passengers in the plane. So they rarely, they almost never head up into the cockpit. All right. So what this is telling us is that the 8-horse does have the most early speed in this race. That's why he's boxed off, has a plus advantage. So about 5 points better than the next closest horse. So maybe a length ahead of everybody else through the first half mile. We also see that the 6-horse here, with my scratch handwriting, has the most late pace. And if you put the beginning part and the back part of the race together, the 8 and the 6 look to me like the most complete horses. All right, Charles, see if you can put your thoughts together a little bit more coherently than my brain is working today.
I'll try. I'm running slow too today. Well, this race is an interesting race to me. It's a maiden claimer. I mean, it's overall pretty wide open, but I'm going to have to go with the 8-horse here. Everything says this horse, the horse drops. The trainer gets 23% most of the time, but he gets 35% second time after a claim. And you got a good hot jockey trainer combo there. Uh, Ran second last time out. So everything kind of points to this horse. I actually like a little bit of a long shot for my second pick, which is the 6 horse. This horse drops in class. This horse has some tactical speed, but it's mainly on the closing side of it. So I look for this horse to be flying at the end. Might pick it up enough to win this race, but I see it more or less for the exotics. And then my third choice in this race is the 2. This horse is back on dirt today, cuts back in distance, and does a little bit of a drop class also.
Mhm.
And then my final pick is the 4, drops in class. This horse should like the distance. I ran third last time I ran a distance, and it's back on dirt today.
All right. So I like the 8 as well as my top thoroughbred in the first horse race today at Churchill Downs. That is Awesome Charge. Charles is in my computer clearly. Did run the best last race speed figure, drops in class. So this is a second start off the claim for trainer Chris Hartman, which is a super alpha angle for Mr. Chris Hartman, winning at 35%. That's about, and you see any angle that's hitting at 35%, you got to kind of circle that horse. Doesn't mean it's going to win, but you know it's going to make a solid effort. Private Connie, this is just further evidence that Charles is hacking into my computer as my second choice.
He's a long shot.
That's why I know you
Yeah.
hacked into my computer, because you wouldn't have had him otherwise. This one does have the top last rate, top late pace, as you mentioned, can run at the end of the race. Does have the second best combination of the early and late pace. So I think this horse does have a good shot to hit the board, maybe steal this race. Number 7, and this is I changed my picks after Charles hacked.
Oh, there it is.
I went with number 7, Kenrick. This horse has a bullet workout on the 29th. I think this guy's also going to be close to the front all the way around the track. And then finally, number 1, Scotch No Rocks. Could be close to the front and improved a lot in the later part of its last race. So sounds like the dog is still destructive.
Yeah, he's playing around.
He's busted out of his cage again. All right.
Yep.
On the loose. Hey, can't blame him for that. I don't like to be caged up either. I have a little bit of
Yeah.
claustrophobia. This is your best bet. This is race number 2. It's a claiming for $30,000, purse of 56. This race on the Churchill Downs track is 6 furlongs. And at 6 furlongs, we find that the way to the winner's circle usually favors stalkers or tactical speed with an outside bias. So keep an eye on that. Not a lot of horses in this race, just 5. So pretty short field as we see. I don't know about you, Charles, but my experience has been short fields tend to favor horses that get to the front. Do you agree?
Yeah, most of the time that is true. Yes.
So our way to the winner's circle says the 2 and the 4 are likely to be your front runners. And then on the back end, you have the 3 horse that has a double plus late pace advantage. So 10 points better than anybody else. And maybe we should check with the dog and see what it thinks. What do you think?
He's playing with his toy. Okay, well, to me, I think this is a pretty easy race. Like you said, there's a couple of speed horses in here. I actually think this horse is going to sit right there where he should be in the 3rd spot coming around the turn and take it over after that, which is the 5 horse. This horse has that tactical speed, has one last time out. The trainer gets 12% overall, but gets 21% when he repeats back into claimers. So this is my best bet of the day. I see him just pulling away at the end of this race.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 horse is the speed horse, I believe, that's going to hang in there for second. The horse drops down in class, back on dirt today, and definitely has the speed to try to take it wire to wire, but I think the 5 is going to catch her. And then the 2, the other speed horse, should be hanging around for those exotics. Cuts back a distance today, and like we said, it has speed. And then the 3 is my final pick for some exotics. Ran second last time out, cuts back in distance, and fits well with these type of horses.
All righty then. I'm going to start with Bourbon with Ginger. It's my top pick, that 2 horse. Your third choice, my first choice. Last time out, ran better fractions at 7 furlongs than it did in the prior start at 6 furlongs. Again, if you run longer and you go faster, you're going a lot faster in my book. weird math, I know, fuzzy math, as they said, George Bush's economic policies. But anyway, this horse also run at the distance 5 times, 1 win, 1 second, and 2 thirds. The number 5, Super Cat Lady. There's plenty of those, I'm sure. It's all or nothing at Churchill Downs. 4 races, 2 wins, nothing else on the board there. Did win that last race big. Looking back at the horse's previous third starts off a layoff, sometimes good, sometimes not good. So mixed bag. Number 3, that one is Edgy Angel. My third choice has a plus late pace advantage in this race. Does have the best combination of front and middle and late pace in the race. And also ran a small Z pattern last time out, which is usually a pretty good sign the horse is going to run a good one the next time out. And then finally, the 4th out of 5 horses for me is Canary. This one drops in class and has run successfully at the distance 3 times out with a couple of wins. Race number 3, another 6 furlong race. This one's claiming for $50,000, non-winners of 2 lifetime, with the purse of $66,000. Again, profile of a winner at that distance. We find that there does favor stalkers, tactical speed, and if you're outside, you have the edge over the inside horses. In this field, in race number 3, we do have a scratch. That is number 4, not in this spot here at all. He was going to be one of the speed horses. That's why he's got that box around him, but he's not in. So that should give the 3 and the 1 perhaps a little bit of an advantage in this race. They won't have to work as hard. And then when they come home down the stretch, it looks like the 2 horse and the 6 horse have the most late pace and also have, they run more complete races typically than the 3 or the 1 do. When this race is complete, Charles, how's it going to line up?
I personally think it's going to set up for the closers, but I have to admit this race is pretty even on the type of horses we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going with the 6 as my first choice. This horse ran 3rd last time out. This horse is 4 out of 6 this year. Adds blinkers. Trainer gets 23%. So a lot of things points for this horse in this race, especially with the pace up front. Mm-hmm. My second choice is the 5, another closer. This horse won last time out. Trainer gets 19%, but gets 25% second time after a layoff. And that horse has a little bit more tactical speed probably than the 6. Could sit a little bit closer, but still it has the kick at the end. And then your speed horses are going to be finishing out, in my opinion. I like the one that's probably will not be on the lead, but it's going to be very close. Has speed. Horse ran 2nd last time out. Hot trainer in the last 14 days. And then the final pick is the 2 horse, which is another speed horse. Ran 2nd last time out. Gets Tyler Gaffleone today, which is a plus.
Little upgrade to Tyler G, who recently married, but he still hasn't made good on those royalty checks he promised me. So if you watch when we had him on, I told him that when I bet on him, I don't win. And when I do bet on him, and when I don't bet on him, he does win. So I made a deal that I wouldn't bet on him anymore, but he had to give me 10%. So Charles and I are telling you what we like and why we like it. In the comment section, tell us who you like and why you like them as well. Let us know where you're from too. It's a community, so everybody's thoughts and comments and picks are welcome. Number 6 for me is my first choice, Dallas Volunteer. This racehorse is making its 3rd start off the bench, first off the claim, which is a 19% winner for trainer Chris Hartman. So according to my notes, he should have a good couple of races in the first 3. Number 5, Spare a Dime. Won her last by 7.5 lengths with major improvement in the first half of that race. Number 2 is Big Java. As I examine the race internals, you see that the early, mid, and late part of the race, all improvements off the previous start. The horse is making its 3rd start off a layoff too, and in that cycle rewind, you find that's a 50-50 for her as well. And then finally, number 1, Fordon, as Charles takes my picks exactly again, almost in order, showed better in the first half mile of her last start and does have a maintenance work in between. So maybe a horse that's slated for some improvement today. In race number 4, Charles, we find another 6 furlong race. Again, just real quick. Tactical speed looks like it probably favors horses that are to the outside. at 6 furlongs. It's kind of surprising me that it doesn't favor sprinters, Charles, but that's what the numbers say. In race number 4, again, we have our Weight of the Winner Circle worksheet, and we find that this one might be a little bit on the quick side. So you got a lot of the horses here that either want to be pilots or co-pilots. One horse sitting right in the middle here, the 2 horse. A lot of times when you see these lone EPs or lone PCs, those horses can be lethal in these races. As far as the early part of the race, the 5 and the 6, to me, according to the way we calculate our speed numbers, and Team Rich, they should be the ones that are on the lead. And the late pace belongs to the 4 horse. So these closers back here, they don't own the late pace. In fact, some of the front runners actually have some of the best late pace. So I think this race is likely to be decided in the first 3/8 of a mile or so, Charles. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is another wide
And this
open
is your
race.
box it up too, right? So this is your 4
Yeah, it's
horses.
a wide open race though. Very interesting race. Like you said, tons of speed in this race.
Mm-hmm.
You would think I'd be going with closers here, and the speed horses here like to hang on though. They don't quit. None of them really quit. So I'm going to lean a little bit towards the 1 horse here. Has speed, like I said. The trainer gets 17%, but get 29% on her claiming repeaters type. So this horse he will hang on. So he's something to deal with. Then my next horse is an interesting one here. It's more of a pace horse, and this has tactical speed. Ran 3rd last time out, and you're getting something unique here. You're getting a father-son combo as a jockey trainer. Steve Asmussen's son is riding this horse. His son doesn't ride many races. I think most of the time it's in Lone Star when he does ride, but you're getting that unique combo there. The 7
Isn't
horse.
Steve Ashman kind of a big dude?
Yes, but remember his brother Cash was a great jockey. So, yeah, actually Steve is probably the biggest one of the group. His dad was even a jockey. 7 horse is my 3rd choice in this race. Another speed horse, but has some tactical speed. Could last a little bit longer than normal speed horses. 1 last time out. Definitely right there. And my final one is the 6 horse. Like I said, it has speed, likes to hang around. It fits well with these horses. But overall, I do believe this race could be wide open also. But why I chose it as my box up is because of the odds of all these horses.
Mm-hmm.
If I hit this, it's going to be a good try, or exactly, it's going to be really good.
Yeah, this race I was just like juggling my picks around. Like I was just kept cycling them as I was going through. No, I'm going to put this one up. No, I'm going to put this one. No, I'm going to put this. So this is how I finally settled on it, and it is actually my long shot in here for some of the reasons you just mentioned. But there's so many things, and what scares me is you don't even have this horse. So I don't know if that scares me or scares you, but it should scare one of us. I have the 9 horse Adrena Star as my top choice in here. Go ahead.
He's a closer.
Well, he has by far the best Churchill Downs numbers, and by far the best numbers at the distance. So when I was looking at all these horses and kind of pairing them up together, I was trying to find something that separated them. So I was looking at their history at the track, thinking about what Mike Smith told us, how they run at Churchill is how they run at Churchill, because the track is kind of unique on its surface, and this one's run the best at Churchill. So that's why I put it up there. I do agree with you. I like that 6 horse Cool Runnings is the most consistent performer in the field. But that horse is 0 for 3 at Churchill Downs. So maybe he doesn't like the track, whereas the 9 does. Number 8 is, so let's see. Right now we have one. Well, we agree on 1. All right. Released. This one did tie for the top last race speed figure and the money at the distance in 10 tries, 8 times. Got a couple of seconds in there, surrounded by 2 wins and 2/3. And then finally, number 7, Big Bella Brown. She won her last race by 2 1/4 lengths. And the history says that this horse is likely to step forward in its second start after a little bit of R&R. All right, so you can see that race. I agree with you, Charles, just completely wide open. You see that in our picks. It's completely wide open. And I just went with the horse that had the best history at the track because I think there's like 5 of them in here that are pretty similar. Race number 5, which also finishes up the early pick 4. We'll get to our early pick 4 picks in just a moment. This one is a mile and a 16th. It's a maiden claiming for $30,000 with a $50,000 purse. At a mile and a 16th, it's a new distance. Tactical speed. It has been the way to the winner's circle as far as post positions are concerned. They've been mostly fair, so you don't really get an advantage leaving from any particular gate. We do have a scratch here with the 13 horse, so he's not in. You got a trio of, you got a bunch of first-time starters in here as well, so that you don't know what any of them are going to do. You have some horses in here with the up arrows, so they're kind of going up a little bit in class. Other horses that are dropping in class, some horses running at the same class. So this is another one of those races that I think is completely wide open. For some clues as to what might happen, the 5 horse and the 4 horse have the most early speed. The 1 has the best combination of early speed and late speed, getting actually 5 points higher than the next closest horse in this race. The 10 horse is dropping with the most late pace. So a lot of times these droppers in maiden claiming, you'll see them not only move up in terms of their final position, but they also tend to move up in terms of their proximity to the leader when the gates open. It's my box it up, Charles, but if you were going to box this one up, how would they line up?
If I was going to box it up, I would choose the 7 as my first choice. Oops. Anyway, 7 is my first choice. This horse is dropping it in class today. Trainer gets 19% with maiden claimers. Ran third last time out. So the horse has got a lot of talent. I think he's one of the probably 2 horses to beat, in my opinion. The second horse I think has an excellent shot in this race is the 5 horse. This horse has the speed to get him out there and keep him away from all the troubles that some horses find themselves in. Was claimed last time out, which is encouraging. Well,
claiming Rise too.
Yeah,
the Rise kind of concerns me a little bit.
Most of the time, they have to raise them up in class if you bring them back within 30 days.
Okay.
So, well bet last time out. The added distance should be good for this horse. So, I see some good things with this horse. And then my third choice, which could be picking up some exotics, I believe, is the 10 tactical, but more on the closing side of that. This horse drops. Amos gets 26% on the maiden claimers. So the horse has got some talent. And then I'm going to go with a first timer as my final one to get the exotics. Solid work tab. Trainer gets 23% overall in the year, and it looks like it might fit with these type of horses.
So you would have almost boxed them up the same way I did. I went with O'Connor Sunset, the 5 horse, as my top choice. Even though it is being claimed and moved up, and as you said, they were up to 30 days. I did not know that. So that's a piece of something that I'm going to have to put into my handicapping toolbox. But could be the lone speed in this race. Was well bet in its debut, where it popped the highest last race speed figure. Number 7, Cambioso, one of the bigger class droppers in this field, and has increased its speed figures 4 consecutive races, so looking to make it 5 in a row, but absolutely walking up that performance ladder. Number 10, Breadwinner, is the horse that's run better fractions in its last race, despite going about a furlong more. So that tells you that the horse actually ran faster. And then number 4 for me is my 4th choice. You know, a lot of times when there are a bunch of first-time starters and there are a bunch of horses with experience, as I've mentioned before, I put all the first-time starters in one bucket, all of the experienced horses in another bucket, and then I'll look at the experienced horses first. And if I can't find horses I like in the experienced horses, then I'll just toss them all out and just go almost exclusively with the first-time starters. I tend to lean more towards the horses with experience here. And that number 4 is my final choice, Grimes, going long for the first time. And when I look at those early race, when I look at the internal race numbers for the 4 horse in its debut, they were steady across the board. So you didn't see like any drop off at any point in the race. So if that horse improves off of that effort last time, you know it can run a solid race from wire to wire. So that also is my box it up again. 4 horses, exacta box, trifecta box, superfecta box. And I think, I don't remember which is what. So, all right, I got it wrong. This is the beginning of our prime rib pick fours, race number 2. So we're starting with the big ones early. Charles has a very interesting ticket construction to me. He's banking on that 5. And that's a race with only 5 horses. So just mathematically speaking, he has got a 20% chance for the 5 horse to come home first. And then he's got a 100% chance in race 3 and 4 for his races to come in. So he's got at least a 20% chance. Implied probability probably puts it closer to 30 or 40% chance that he makes it to the last leg alive.
Yeah, it was basically math. And like you said, race 3 I thought was close enough to being wide open. And then, in my opinion, race 4 is totally wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So,
as our picks,
might as well just hit the all button and hope for a price,
And then in the last race, we agree on the same first 3. So plenty of opportunities for Charles and I. Charles hits that first one on that 5, then he's going to be in a really good spot heading into race number 5. It's our prime rib pick 4. Of course, at the end, we'll also have our hot dog pick 4 for the last 4 races. So you're going to want to stick around for that, which we're going to get started off right here with race number 6. Race 6 is a 6.5 furlong, claiming $50,000. Non-winners of 2 lifetime. The purse is an even $66,000 at 6.5 furlongs. The kind of horse that you want is one that does have some early speed, preferably not wearing the red 1 or an 8 or out. So you'll feel better post position wise if it has some early speed in wears number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. In race number 6, this is a pretty balanced race. You got 2 horses that want to be pilots right here with the 5 and the 7. And you got a quartet of horses that really want to be the co-pilot. They should all be exactly where they want to be. Maybe this one horse decides that it wants to be a part of this group over here. Its early pace figure say can do either one. So we'll see which option they decide. The 2 horse is a smallish left arrow horse, not the biggest one. It should move closer to the front than normal with its normal closing type style. Also has a plus late pace advantage in there too. So if this 2 horse does move over with the 5, the 7, and the 1, its late run says it could be very difficult to hold off at the end. And at the end, Charles, which one will they be trying to hold off?
I believe it's going to be the 7, one of the speed horses. I think this horse has got the talent to even, go on the pace part of it. I think he could even sit 2nd or 3rd if he had to. This horse drops in class today. 3rd start off a layoff, and which is my favorite spot after a layoff is the 3rd spot.
First handicapping angle everybody learns, right?
Yep. Has speed. Tyler gets on, so a lot of things point for this horse. I think he's going to be very tough to beat in this race. But if there's going to be someone that might beat him, it might be the 6, in my opinion. Drops in class today. 3rd start off, the layoff again, another horse. And this one has tactical speed also. So, another one that could sit right there real close to the pace or be on it, depending on what really happens in this race. The 1 horse definitely, in my opinion, has the speed. Probably will go closer to the front than not. Sharp claimed this horse last time out. He's a really good trainer when it comes to claiming. The horse, like I said, has that tactical speed, so he could be a little dangerous for the exotics. And the 4 horse is my final choice. This horse drops in class. It goes from turf to dirt, and he's the more on the closing side of the tactical speed.
I like the 1 horse in race number 6, Churchill today, Carbonite. Did run the top last race speed figure, and just in the limited experience the horse has, should improve a little bit in its 3rd race off the break. First handicapping angle, everybody learn. 6, Drive for Fun is going to be dropping to the claiming ranks for the first time, hoping for some improvement here in the 3rd race off a layoff as well, which seems to be a theme in this race. Like everybody must be targeting this one from a trainer's perspective because the 2 horse is also making its 3rd start off a layoff, which is my 3rd selection here. Pledge of Allegiance. Very consistent performing horse, dropping in class, and has almost a double plus late pace edge. So if it's close coming out, like we said on that left arrow, they're not going to be able to hold Pledge of Allegiance off. And then finally, number 7, American Icon. The bullet workout suggests that this horse might be ready to run back to its debut, where the horse did manage to go wire to wire. And that's what I think Charles is kind of hoping on there, right?
Yep, that's what I'm hoping on.
Race 7 is Seven's Wild because this is a 7-furlong race made in special weight for $120,000 with the purse of $120 grand as well. A kind of horse that you want at 7 furlongs is one that has some early speed, much like 6.5 furlongs. Not surprisingly, you don't want to be on the rail and you don't want to wear 8 and out. I mean, it's not deal killers, but they certainly are not helpful. This one is your long shot, Charles. Let's take a look at the way to the winner circle worksheet. See if I can guess which one might be your long shot in here. I don't know. You got the 4 and the 7. They're likely to show some early speed in here. The 4 is actually dropping in class out of a $200,000, if memory serves, non-graded stakes race. The 3 horse right here in the middle is a pressure horse, so shouldn't be all that far off the front runners, and has a triple late pace advantage, 15 points better than anybody else. So if it does sit right behind these two, ain't no way they're holding that one off. And the 5 horse here is a first-time starter. So if I had to guess, I mean, just based upon this, I'm going to guess it's either the 4 or the 3. And let's see if I got anything right so far today.
Well, yeah, you kind of did. It's going to be the 3. Everything. Yeah. Take your bow. Yeah. The 3 here ran second last time out. Like you said, this horse could sit right there off the pace. Anytime he wants to pounce on these guys, he can. Here's some new facts about this horse. He's a new time gelding, so he's a little bit angrier now. He's going to be closer to the pace.
Mm-hmm.
He adds Lasix today.
Mm-hmm.
Well bet all 4 times this horse has ran. So this horse has got some solid works in him. I mean, I keep on hearing that this is the go right here. I mean, all on paper, everything says it. It says go, go, go. So in this race, I think the 2 horse can do some damage. With that being said, the horse ran second last time out, cuts back in distance. This horse is hot at the claim box, which tells me everyone thinks this horse, they could do some good damage with this type of horse. So that's always a good thing to see sometimes. And then my third choice is the 7. This horse has speed and is cutting back in distance today. Tyler gets on, which is a big plus. So look out for that horse possibly. And then my final choice for exotics and everything is the 5 horse. This horse is very well bred, solid works. The dam has 1 winner from 3 starters, which is that's average. That's good. That's a good little average. So, let's see what this type of horse could do.
So here's the difference between Charles and I. Charles makes the 3 his long shot. I step up and make it my best bet. You know why? Brass, baby. Anyway, this one, Hitting Bombs, the 3 horse, has as we mentioned, a triple late pace advantage. So it is a pressure horse, going to sit right off the leaders. What I also like about this horse, the fact that it's going to be right off the pace. You did mention the gelding, but to me, the first time Lasix was the drop for me that said I got to put this horse at the top of the ticket because it does flash early speed. And I found that horses that get early speed and then get a dose of Lasix, they tend to run longer with their speed. And now you add in the super jets at the back of the race. I don't think this horse is going to be a long shot, Charles, by the time they open the gates. I think it has a shot to be the favorite.
Morning line is 4-1. So
I think he's going to be bet down. I don't have any question about that in my mind. And if he's not bet down, I'll be really concerned because then the word on the track is he ain't ready to go. But number 2, Flocky's Flight, did run the top last race, speed figure. And this one can, I think, upset the best bet here and your long shot because when you look at that October 29th workout, 4 furlongs in 46, basically 46 flat. I mean, I don't know how you define that, Charles. To me, there's only one way to define it, and that's fast.
That is fast. That's a fast time, but I would love to see how he actually did the 46.
I don't know. I mean, maybe unless they tied him to the back of a truck or something and made him keep up.
Well, why I say that is if the rider's sitting very still and hands back on the lower part of the neck, that means that horse is doing it all on his own. He's doing it really nice and easy. that means that horse is ready. If the jockey has to shake the reins a little bit, maybe even show him the whip, then that's a different story.
Mhm.
Now you're pushing the horse to keep working out. So I would like to see actually how he did it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't make those videos available. Number 7, War Room, was the betting favorite in its debut and flashed speed in that race. That was a sprint. Then next time out, tried a route, had all sorts of early race issues in that one. Going back to a sprint, I think is helpful, but I also think that adding Tyler G, and I didn't put him on top, so his chances of winning have just increased. Number 5, Top Secret, final choice. I'm going to take a flyer with the first-time starter, and this race is absolute 100% proof. Charles is in my computer. Has some nice works getting prepped. For me, it was a tough call, however, over the 6 horse. Winding down to the last 2 races at Churchill, race number 8 is a 1 mile allowance, 127 grand. So it's the marquee race of the day. The purse is also $127,000. We haven't talked about 1 mile yet. So just to give you kind of clue what to expect, looks like horses that come from off the pace have the best chance of winning. And then there is a major penalty if you wear the red 1. So be careful if you like the 1 horse. You might want to downgrade it off of that data just a little bit. Maybe, yeah, it's kind of a deal killer for me. Number 7 horse looks like on paper it could be the pace setter, but it's probably not going to be the case. It's probably going to be that 1 horse. So he's going to challenge this theory right away in terms of getting to the front. But again, closers are the way to go. Have been anyway. The 3 horse and the 6 horse should also participate in that early pace. So you got 4 horses in here that all want to kind of compete for the lead. This 4 horse might be sitting pretty back here with this plus late pace advantage at a distance that prefers horses to close and facing half of the field that wants to get out to the front. Charles, take it away.
Okay. I think overall it's a 2 horse race. Personally, I really like the 6. I think he's got an excellent shot of winning this race. He ran second last time out. This is the second start after a layoff. This horse back in the day was on the Derby Trail. So, and now Lucas now trains this horse. So, who knows what we could get out of this? Hopefully, we get a little bit more out of this horse. And I think this is the spot where you could do that. And my second choice, the other horse I believe is another excellent horse in this race, is the 3 horse. He ran second last time out. Also was on the Derby Trail early. Not as much as the 6 horse, but uh, this horse definitely could be right there. Could do some damage. Probably even could win this race. Then my third choice is the 5. Uh, he has tactical speed going from turf to dirt. Trainer gets 30% when the horses go from turf to dirt. So look out for this horse. Everything's pointing for him. And then I'll put that red 1 in there in my 4th pick. The horse drops in class today. Ran second last time out, but adds Lasix today.
So your second pick is my first pick in race number 8. Number 3.
Well, you do have to switch them around when you look at my horses.
Yeah, no, I don't have to do that because it's the other way around. Classic moment. I expect this one will show some improvement in its second start off a longish layoff. So that first one was kind of probably sharper than they may have expected. Has 1 trip over the Churchill Downs track and won that one. And since that long layoff and race, it has a couple maintenance workouts in there, or at least a maintenance workout between races. So should remain fit, firm, and ready to roll. I know the 1 is a penalty, kind of a deal killer, but I do like the Grantham horse here. Does have some decent Churchill training track works, some early pace, and that's the combination for me that kind of moved this horse to second instead of third. I love those horses that get early pace and have first-time Lasix. It's just been a combination that's been very successful for me. So keep an eye out for that when you're doing your handicapping. You see like 1-1 and then fade. 1-1 and then fade. And then Lasix, those 1s carry on farther down the past performance line next time out. Number 6, Ben Diesel. Very strong race off the bench. Has 3 good workouts in between, but 2 in particular that were stellar, including a bullet workout. So another horse that should be fit, firm, and ready to roll. Finally, number 4, Policy Option. That is the closer that we talked about in the Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet. Does have that advantage at the end of the race is going to be rolling late, but it's a Tom horse, and a Tom who does Foreign Fridays with me this Friday. I think we're going to be doing Shay Tin out in Hong Kong, but he has those horses that he always says going to win. In the money, yes. I think the way this race sets up, the 4-horse has an excellent shot to clean up the gimmicks at the end. Maybe not fourth, maybe second or third. Who knows? We'll find out. Final race on the card, race number 9. The Nightcap is a 6-furlong race. Maiden claiming for $50,000. As we mentioned before, 6-furlong profile of a winner favors horses that are stalkers and typically horses that get an outside post. Our final look at the way to the winner circle worksheet in race number 9. Had to put 2 pieces of paper together because I couldn't fit race number 9 down here. But race number 9, we do have a scratch. This one was actually in my picks, the 2-horse. The 6-horse I was thinking about it, but it didn't quite make it in there. You do have some early pace here with the 1 and the 5. The 5 has a plus advantage early out of the gates. The 1-horse dropping a class. A lot of these horses are either up, dropping a class, or the same. A few that are moving up. 11-horse is the co-pilot in here that does have the best combination of early speed and late speed. This race is pretty open, Charles. How do you plan on closing out your pick 4s for the day?
Yeah, it's pretty open, but I think it's down to probably 3 horses here. My first choice is going to be actually the closer in this race. I think that's how it's going to set up. Horses got that tactical speed, but more on the closing side of it. Hot Jockey Trainer Combo drops in class today, adds the Lasix. So I think this horse is going to be something to deal with at the end. The 1-horse drops in class today, ran second last time out, cuts back in distance, but this horse is 4 for 10, so he's starting to become a liability out there. Just, he's not picking up the main check. So, but he's still got enough talent there to do some damage. My third choice is the 11. Horse ran third last time out, drops in class. This horse is pretty well bred also, so this horse could be right there now. He might be waking up. And then the 10-horse is my final pick. Ran second last time out, claimed last time out, and this horse is also bred very well.
I'm going to start with the 11, Penitence Rose. I think this one's going to be involved from go to photo. It's going to have, I think with that the co-pilot with some speed in front of it should get a very good trip. Should be able to take advantage of the ability to run a complete race from start to finish. Number 1, Charles, please be kind. That's what you're going to say to me by the end of this day with the beating you're about to take. If you haven't done so yet already, please head on over to our social sites, Horse Race, the number 2 day, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Let us know if you're on Team Charles and Team Terry or Team Rich. At the end of the month, we'll tally up all the winnings.
Who's in the lead right now?
You guys are a little bit in the lead.
Oh, okay.
And thanks to you, too, with that pick 5 that you got when you singled the 5. So congratulations. But it's a long month. It's not a sprint. It is a marathon, and I have more endurance. So make sure you head over to make your vote. And at the end of the month, we'll send a winner a Horse Racing Today hoodie if we pull your name out of the hat. Number 5, Cammy Katz, does have the top early pace edge in this field. I think this one has a shot to be better in the third start off the layoff. And then finally, your first horse there, number 4, Puglia. This one's been off almost a year to the day, which is always an interesting dilemma for me because the horse was probably facing better stuff than it's going to face here today. But with that year off, my guess is the horse is going to need one. Again, that's just a guess. Does have some decent late legs, and maybe the difference today is first-time Lasix. If you haven't done so already, too, please make sure you hit the subscribe button while you're here on YouTube. Same thing on Facebook. We appreciate that. It helps us with their algorithms. Also, hit the bell so that when we go live with our content, you are notified. If you're going to play today at Mahoning Valley, which I'll never play with Charles again because that's where he got the advantage on me, it is our free track over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Just click on the link in the description below, and you will see that you'll get the free picks. Mahoning Valley, number 2 in the first race. Out My Dear is the top choice in race number 1 at Mahoning Valley. And also a little later on today, if you're going to play college basketball, another link down below to our good friend Professor Sides at Picks with the Professor. He is a college basketball guru like our friend over here, Charles. And you'll have some excellent picks over there for you in the college basketball arena and in college football now that the Major League Baseball is over. Again, one quick time down through our full picks, Charles, for the day. Let me bring them back up real quick. Sorry. So I hit the edit button here. Too many buttons to press for one person. Charles in race number 2 with his best bet, the 5-horse. Probably going to go off at 2-5. My best bet in race number 7 is also Charles' long shot, the 3-horse. My long shot is in race number 4, which is the 9-horse. Charles does not have the 9-horse in his box it up, which is when you put together 4 horses in a $1 exacta box, 50-cent try, 10-cent superfecta. I'm in race number 5. This is the race where Charles and I feel like the odds are going to favor probably the biggest payout if you happen to hit it, according to our picks anyway. Usually I found, Charles, with these box it ups, a lot of times we pick the right race, but unfortunately sometimes we get screwed up by a horse that finishes 3rd or 2nd. But
I've
a lot
seen
of
that
times
too. You're right.
Yeah, we pick the right race almost always where the prices are going to come in. So you might look for some prices in here. Our hot dog pick 4s are going to start in race number 6, 7, and 8, and 9. So to close out the card, Charles is doing the Noah for the first 3 picks, 2x2x2, and then closing it out with 4. I'm going to go 2x2 early and then 3x3 in the end. And if the 3-horse wins today, I'm going to be in pretty good shape going into that last race. Finally, our prime rib pick 4s where we get a little bit more money to spend. Charles coming off right away. Race number 2, putting everything on the line with number 5, El Cinco. And then he's going all. And then 3 horses to close it out. And we have those same 3 horses in race number 5. So good luck to you on that, Charles. I hope you make it through the end. And then I make it through the end. And the 5 of the 7 or the 10 wins. So we're both right there collecting 2 times. All right. Again, full card pick right there. Any final thoughts, Charles, before we get up and out of here?
No, basically, it's a beautiful day out here in Kentucky. So I don't know where you're at, but I know the cold weather's coming, people. So enjoy the weather when you can. And be careful in Florida, by the way.
Oh, for another storm down there. Yeah, hopefully everything goes better than the last one did, for certain. As far as we're concerned, tomorrow we'll be back to do Aqueduct, Charles and I. So we'll be up in New York. And then after that on Friday against Shea Tin. On Saturday, we're rolling out. We didn't do Saturday shows before. We're going to start this Saturday. Terry and I are going to get together to go over the Churchill card, which I think is loaded with about 7 or 8 non-graded stakes races, all for like $100,000. That show is going to start about an hour earlier than this one. It's going to start instead of at 12 o'clock Eastern. It'll start at 11 o'clock Eastern. And that's it for the shows there again tonight. Sean and I, 8 o'clock, Adam Bowman, Parks. You're not going to want to miss that. And that's it, folks. No matter what you're doing today, whether you're betting at Mahoning Valley, you're hanging out, doing some yard work, playing with your dog while the dog is playing with its toy, whatever it is you're doing, make sure it ends up in one place. Charles, take it away.
That's the winner circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this hump day. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow at Aqueduct when Rich will be in first place.